Okay, so good morning, guys. So let us continue our Jenkins today. So we would be continuing our Jenkins day 12 session, right? And today is it's a 19 Feb 2023. So we'll be continuing our Jenkins day 12. In the Jenkins day 11, right? We had understood about a few stuff like we understood about how exactly the declarative pipeline works, right? So we had written a declarative pipeline for our game of life project, and you know very well that the game of life project it needs a jdk 8, but it needs a java 8, or else you can say jdk 8 plus with the maven 3.6. This is the version it needs if you whenever you are building a game of life project, right? And the assignment what I have given to you is that write a declarative pipeline for the spring pet clinic. What I will do that today, I will be continuing from here itself actually. How to write a declarative pipeline for the spring pet clinic project, right? Spring Petlik, and sorry, after this, whatever we understood in the diagrammatical format, like how exactly the declarative pipeline work. If you see this diagram, you might have remembered this is the declarative pipeline, right? And in the declarative pipeline, you could see that these are the stuff. So wherever you see green color, it is a required field. Wherever you're seeing red color, it is an optional. So here under this declarative pipeline, you could see that agent and stages are there. These are the two steps which are always required. And within the stages, I just expanded, and within the stages you have a stage, and within the stages you have a steps, and within inside the steps you can have some statement. So like that, within a stages you can have multiple stages, stage one, stage two, stage three, like that. N number of stages you can have, and you can see that within each stage you can have a separate agent. It means that suppose like you configured an agent or the node, you can call into the particular agent within that particular stage. So you can say that, sir, I want to build a game of life project. You can call an agent over here and you can just pass agent as a JDK8. So you know that if you recall it, everything, you could see that we are having node 1 and node 2. Okay, let me log into the Jenkins server. Click on this and copy this public IP address, paste it over here, and give colon 8080. You know very well that Jenkins runs under the port number 8080, right? So let me log into the server. So I logged into Jenkins server. See, you could see that a lot of jobs were there. So because the whole setup was gone, right? So hence I just had executed these two jobs only. It's just a free shell project. So now, if you go to the manage Jenkins and you go to the manage nodes and cloud, you could see that node 1 and node 2 is there. Yeah, node 1 is offline. You know the trick because like here, it might not be pointing to the OpenJDK 17 or OpenJDK 11 because like always the Jenkins agent, it needs a higher version. So maybe the Java will be pointing to the Java 8 itself, or the Java pointing. That's the reason. So we can even fix that issue also. We can go and log into the node 1 public IP, copy the complete public IP, go to the downloads, open the putty. So you have Ubuntu at the rate. This is the profile I had already created. Load it, give the public IP, and then open it. So here you are able to log into this node 1. See, this is a node 1. Now, if you execute the Java hyphen version here, so you could see that it is actually pointing to 1.8. It means that the Java is now currently pointing to the 8 version. So you know very well that the Jenkins agent doesn't work with the lower version of Java. So you know that. So you have to go to the Google and just say uh, Java alternative commands. Yeah, it has already come here. So you can go to this, and here you can just run this command. Copy this, run this command in the node 1, enter. So currently it is pointing to OpenJDK 8. Now you need to point to OpenJDK 17 or whatever might be. You can point it to 0. So 0 is nothing but OpenJDK 17 actually, and say enter. So right now you go back here into the node, into the your Jenkins server. Click on this, launch the agent again. Now it will you see that it will start doing connection. See, it has already did the connection. What happened, man? Okay. Let us see. Okay. Some issue has happened here. Okay. Let us see what is the issue. I will point it to the one and say enter. Okay. And let me do a sudo systemctl restart SSD service. I started the SSD service. Go back here into the node one again. Click on the node one. Try to launch it again. Let's see. So launched failed. Cleaning up the connection. There is some issue has happened, guys. Actually. So what is it happened means actually mm, because it was working fine yesterday because I executed some jobs, but it is not working. So let us see why exactly it is not doing. Go to the logs, complete log, and port number 22 something. Okay, go to the configuration. Node 1. Okay, JDK8 launch. What is the IP address of the node 1? 107. Correct. This is 107. It's a private IP. So I'm just verifying it here. So you are having the Jenkins. Okay, username, password, and non-verifying. Keep this agent. Environment variables. Why I am setting up this Java ops? I don't need this. And save it actually. Let's see if this is not working again. We have to reconfigure it again. So okay, connection close. Yes, opening the connection possibility. Build the connection. So there is some issue, guys. Actually, again the same stuff. So it is not able to do it actually. So we'll do one thing. We will try to delete the agent, or we will try to do the delete the agent. Okay, let us do one thing. So sudo PSSWD possibility Jenkins. 1 second. Let me check little bit one of the configuration file. It is. Give me a second, guys. Actually, let me check this. Okay, this is perfect. So sudo restore Jenkins, fine. So sudo apt update. Yes, it is doing it fine without asking password. Correct. It and it out and then let me delete this agent. Now what I'll do, I will create a new agent again one more time. The node. So this is nothing but the node one. Add the permanent agent. Create it. Description node one is used with JDK8 and Maven 3.6 whatever. Number of executors I'll give as a 2. Okay, home directory slash home slash Jenkins. You know this very well that we have configured a number of times. Jenkins underscore root. Correct. After that label, I'll give the label as JDK8. Same thing. Use this node as much as possible or only build when the label. So only build label with the label expression matching this. So I'll give this. So what about the launch method? Launch method, I'll make it as SSH. Here you have to give the host name. Copy this node one host name. That is not but IP address. That is a private public IP or private IP. Preferably go with the private IP. Okay, and give this. What about the credentials? You have already created credentials. Give the credentials. No host verification. So non-verifying verification strategy. Keep this node as much as possible. Yes, correct. Then it. Save it. Okay. Now click on here. Launch the agent. So it is not again. It is not connecting again. Okay. So what is the reason behind it? So mm, open the 7 manual option to Java hyphen version. So it is 17. Okay. Man in the middle attacks something. Okay, SSH keys are not being verified or something like that. It is saying. Okay, SSH keys are not being verified. Hence, there is some issue. So what is happening that the Jenkins is not able to communicate with your node 1, whereas a node 2 it is able to communicate it. So with that, what you can do, guys, you can go over here. Hmm, you have a you are logged into the Ubuntu and it's a node 1, and if you do an LSF-A, you could see that you are having a dot SSH. So you have a dot SSH. You are having authorized key, right? So what you will do, what you can do that, you can remove this content, or else you can just move this authorized key as authorized key something original something. Move this, and then like over here. Okay, and I think I need to do a debug. SSSFN key, then the enter. So creating a keys actually, right? And if you go to SSH, so you have the ID underscore DSI, ID underscore RSA.pub. Okay. Now come back here, come over here, go to your Jenkins server, log into Jenkins server, copy the public IP, go to your downloads. Okay. So login here. Yes. Now what happened right here? If you do SSH Ubuntu at the rate and give the IP address of your node 1, so it should able to do an SSH. So it is asking the password. It is asking for the password. So I know the password. Oh, okay, okay. So what is the Ubuntu at the rate? Give the IP address of the. So why it is not doing able to do it? So it has to communicate. Okay, or else SSH Jenkins at the rate to the IP address. Let me check whether I'm able to do it. Jenkins. Oh, okay. It's not able to log in only. So in this is nothing but your Jenkins master. Let me check. There is some issues there, guys. Actually, SSH SSB underscore config. Okay, let me check. Okay, password authentication is, and permit root login. Yes, authentication is fine actually. So some serial start SSD. Okay, so okay. Somewhere SSH keys are not being verified. Man in the middle attack may be possible against this section. So there could be some reason actually. Credential Jenkins username method. So there could be a problem with this Jenkins server password settings actually. So what we can do here again, can go to the Jenkins server. Okay, can go to the manage Jenkins, and here you can come over here. You know you have manage credentials. Click on this. Here you have a Jenkins user, Jenkins user and Jenkins password. You can just delete this actually. So you can remove this credential actually. Okay, you have removed it. Now again, what happened? You can go back here and manage Jenkins. Go back to the manage nodes. Go to the node 1. Configure. Come over here. You don't have any credential here. Just add the credentials. Okay, username and the password. Username is what? Jenkins. Password is what? Jenkins only. The password. Okay, and then like come over here, ID something, Jenkins user, Jenkins user for notes, something description, add it. So now you have added this. Come down here. Okay, anything else it is missed, guys? That's all. Save this. Okay, again you will do a launch of agent. Okay, it is showing some error, guys. Let us see. Credentials ID, Jenkins user method password. Failed to authenticate as Jenkins, wrong password. Why wrong password? So sudo PSSWD password Jenkins. So for the Jenkins user, I am resetting the password as Jenkins. Same thing I will do over here also in the Ubuntu in the Jenkins server. Sudo password Jenkins. So for the username Jenkins, I'm setting the password Jenkins only. Jenkins. Jenkins. Right. So now let us see in .sss what we have. It is taking some time, guys. Right. So what I will do that I will remove the open the nonos file. So remove all these things. Open the authorized key. Remove everything. I don't want this. Okay. So now what you're doing that again you are going over here. Click on here. Go back to the node one. Launch again the node. Let's see. Now you could see the authentication is happening. See, now it is happening. So you need to do some kind of a debugs, guys. Actually, it's like if you know overall the whole setup, right? You know that where the issue is there. Now you go to the nodes. Now you could see that it has been able to do the connection. So what has happened, right? What is the trick here? That first I did a reset of the Jenkins user again. So what I did the command, I execute this command actually. So I did a sudo password is Jenkins. I reset the Jenkins user password again, Jenkins. What I did here in the Jenkins server, I go to the SSH directory, and here I had cleared up everything. Whatever the content this has, right, I cleared up everything. So maybe the content what it had, right, that was not allowing it to authenticate. Maybe that could be the reason. So that is the reason what happened. I cleared everything. So first I tried with everything with the first I checked the all the configuration things, whether all the configurations are perfect, right? I checked it, right? Everything is perfect, fine. Then I still what happened, the node was not getting connected. Then I did a like I even checked what was the Java version here. So we know that these are Java version. So with Java 17 or with Java 11 or 19, yeah, the connection will establish. And later what I did, right, I even in the node one also I went and in the SSH, right, I renamed this actually. I moved this. I did a lot of no like kind of a trial and error I did so that I was able to understand what was the issue. So once you see the logs actually, guys, once you see the logs, right, like here, where is the log? Yeah. So once you see the logs, right, then only you'll be able to understand what exactly the issue could be. So it's saying that no, the man in the middle attack may be something. There could be some kind of an issue with the under the SSS. You have a known host as well as authorized care. There could be some issue with that itself. So in that way only you need to able to identify. Now it could see that the agent is up and running. Good. Not agent is up and running. The node is has been corrected. Fine now. Here till here are you clear? Even though some of you might know this, but it is kind of a repetition for you guys. Okay, good. Now, so if you remember in the last class we had drawn this diagram. So and I said, sir, this is the declarative pipeline, and this is what you need to see always this declarative pipeline or this image you have to see, and you need to write a declarative pipelining for whichever project which you are building, right? And in the last session we had understood of how to write a declarative pipeline for your game of life. So this is what we had written for our game of life. So, but what happened, right? We written a game of life code that is good only, but we refer to the scripted pipelining of the game of life. You remember before this, I had written a scripted pipeline. So this is nothing but this is a scripted pipeline for your game of life actually, because you could see that it starts with a node here. So whenever you see any pipeline starts with a node, you need to understand this is the scripted pipelining. Whereas the declarative pipelining, always the pipeline will starts with the word pipeline only. So this way you can make a difference. So what I did, right, whatever the game of life which he had written, right, I just took the code from the scripted pipeline. So today, what we are going to understand, right? Suppose we don't have anything, we are only depend upon the Jenkins reference document, or the Jenkins, pipeline syntax. We need to only depend upon those document only to write our to write the to write the pipeline. Then how we are going to do that? So that's what we'll be learning now, and it is very important, right? Because that if you're given a documentation, going through the documentation or seeing the documentation, you should be able to write the pipeline, right? You should not have always a reference of some other code, right? If you always depend upon reference of some other code, then you'll not learn the art of writing a declarative pipeline. Then you'll always be depend upon some code, or you'll be depend upon somebody who's written anything. No, you'll be depend upon that. You will not be able to write the pipeline from the scratch itself, right? So what we're going to do now, that we are going to have a we'll write a declarative pipeline for the Spring Pet Clinic declarative pipeline. So let's let's start writing declarative pipeline for Spring Pet Clinic. And you know that for the Spring Pet Clinic, it always requires a Java 17 and with the Maven 3.8, actually 3.8.7. But yesterday when I did a configuration again, right, every setup, 3.8.7 is gone now. Now it is 3.9 actually. So I have already installed the 3.9 Maven version, where you have installed in your node 2, because the node 2, this one, the node 2, where is it, guys? The node 2 is nothing but this is the node 2 where I have assigned a label JDK 17. So here under the node 2, I will be building the Spring Pet Clinic project. It means that when I run a pipeline, the pipeline will get executed and the jobs will get executed, and the whole build happens into this node 2 itself actually, because you're not building in the Jenkins now. You will be delegating to some other node, right? So that's what we call this as a distributed build site or the distributed systems. Correct? So sorry. So what we are going to do now, we're going to do it. Now what I'll do that, you know that I have my GitHub account. Okay, good. I have my GitHub account where I think I've already cloned the Spring Pet Clinic. You know that you need to always clone or you need to always fork it, right? So I've already forked it. This project I've already forked it, and you could see that this is the fork code actually. And is there any branch I created? I don't think so. Yeah, only one branch is the main. Only for the game of life, I think that I created a branch, something like a sprint one underscore develop. See, if you go to the game of life, sorry guys, it has been very long, right? Because this continuation class we are doing after 3 weeks. So some of you might have a little bit forgotten whatever we did in the previous day. So just recall all those previous videos. So you'll be able to get back all those things. So here, game of life, the master branch is there, as well as I had created one more branch actually, sprint one underscore develop, because while explaining about the day build or night build, right, I had explained this concept. So watch all those previous video, you'll get to know everything. So now, so what I'm saying that I will go with the Spring Pet Clinic project. This is the project which I will be I'll be building, and I'll be writing a declarative pipeline for this, right? And also what happened that I will do all those things activity in the code itself. So let me do one thing. Let me log into the node 2 actually. So let me log into the node 2. So I will copy the public IP and I'll just go and log into the node 2, because I'll be doing a git pull push everything over there only. So I will log into the Ubuntu. Sorry, I log into the node 2. I have logged in, right? So what I will do, I will just do a what I do. I can just do a git clone and just clone this entire code. So copy this GitHub URL and then just go to the node 2 and paste it and say enter. So you're just cloning the whole project. So if you say ls, you will got the Spring Pet Clinic. Sorry, go to the ls. So you could say that this is the code we are having. And in the same node 2, as I said, right, you have configured the Maven also. So if you execute mvn-fn version, you could see that the Maven is 3.9 is installed, and you could see that it is the Maven you have did a build here. It means that the whole code of your Maven is there under /opt. So /opt, under that you could see that you are having Apache Maven 2. Earlier we used to have Apache Maven 3.8.7, right? Now the 3.8.7 is gone. Now it is 3.9 because it's the latest version now. So under the bin directory, you know that you are having a mvn command. So come out here, go to the Spring Pet Clinic. Here, guys, what I will do that I will try to write a Jenkins file. So everything, whenever you write a Jenkins file, you know that actually the first character should always be capital and all others should be small. So you are just writing a Jenkins file. Enter. So now I need to build the Spring Pet Clinic. So what you are doing, you are trying to do a code pull first from your GitHub, and you're going to call a build process to build it. And finally, whatever, if you want to do a JUnit or archiving and all, right, you can do it. So all those things you'll be doing, and later you'll be doing a post action also. Suppose you want to do some kind of post action after the build is completed, you want to send an email. So you know that in the post build activity, what happened, you can actually trigger the email so that the email will be dispatched to that particular recipient, where he will get the information about the build status, whether it is passed or failed, right? So those things and all we have seen in our previous session in the Jenkins day 11, right? You have seen that we have seen it, and also you have even configured the email also, right? So what I will do here, I'll go to your internet and I'll just go to the Jenkins pipeline syntax here. This is a document. If you go to the official site of the Jenkins, that is pipeline syntax, here, guys, if you come down, you could see that something like pipeline syntax reference and the pipeline steps reference. So open both the things, pipeline syntax reference and pipeline steps reference. So you'll always be referring to this to documentation. This is what your pipeline syntax is all about. We already started discussing from the last session itself, but this is the document which we need to follow it. And this is the declarative pipeline method, where it always starts with the pipeline. And you could see that open the flower bracket, insert all the declarative statement here, and close with the flower bracket. This is the basic syntax actually, right? Inside this pipeline, you know very well that if you follow this diagram, yeah, you need a agent, you need an environment, you need a tool, you need option, triggers, parameter, library, stages, post. These are the stuffs you are having, but the mandatory is always your agent and stages. Others are optionals. Red color means optional, right? So now if you come over here, you could see the same stuff, guys. Here in the declarative pipeline, you have something as the agent, yeah. You have something as the environment, yes. You have something as the tools, right? You have something as the tools. You have something as an options. This is what we had discussed in the last session. Triggers, which is number build triggers, right? Like that actually. Okay, and after that, after this syntax reference, this is nothing but your pipeline syntax reference. Okay, what about other things? You have something as a Jenkins step pipeline step reference. It means that whenever you have installed any plugin, right? Because like we are heavily dependent upon the plugin, right? Because Jenkins, whenever you want to achieve anything as a UI or the GUI, you should always install a plugin. And you know that for many things we have installed a lot of plugins. Like for the Blue Ocean, we have installed the Blue Ocean plugin, right? For the Maven, we had installed the Maven. For the Git, already Git was already installed. Even in the upcoming sessions, like today evening, when I continue the class, maybe today evening we'll be having one more session. So there I'll be showing about the Sonar Cube actually today, integration of the Sonar Cube with your Jenkins, right? And what exactly the Sonar Cube does? Basically, Sonar Cube does the quality gate checking. It means that it always does the source code quality check. It will do. It means that if there is any flaws in your code, right? If it is not meeting, the all the quality gate checks requirement, then the build has to fail, right? So for that reason, you need to have some kind of a source code analysis tool. Actually, the source code analysis tool is nothing but your Sonar Cube. So today we will be learning that tool actually, installation, configuration, integration with the Jenkins and finally running a project where you will get all kind of a metrics, the Sonar Cube metrics, right? Those things and all we'll be discussing today. So that would be a very interesting session today actually. Okay, hold a second, guys. So this pipeline steps reference, right? Here what happened, guys, for every plugin, so for every plugin, there is some kind of a function is available. So for example, right, for example, if you just try to search for the J unit reference, see, it will directly take to J unit. So what it says, the J unit, okay, this is a J unit, right? Come down here. See, archive the formats actually. So archive the JUnit format. So this is what I need. So when you have installed the JUnit plugin, already it has been installed. So then you have to open right click and you could see that this is what you will get information like whenever you are want to do a archiving everything, right? Then you have to call a JUnit and this does the JUnit archiving all kind of a test results actually. How to write it? Yeah, you have some argument. So test results, allow empty results, check name like that. If you come down here, they would have given some small syntax, or if they have given or not, okay, that's fine. They're not given. They might have given in the main pipeline. You would have given. They would have given here actually. But this is what you need to follow, guys, when you are trying to, add a step within your pipeline where you need to collect all kind of an archive. So you need to call this JUnit actually. So JUnit plugin is already installed. Hence, you already got this actually. So this is not, but this is all the functions what you need to, or these are the parameter what you need to pass to the JUnit actually, like that. So you will be referring to many kind of a documents as such actually. Now what you will do that? Let us write the pipeline now, right? For your building the Spring Pet cleaning. So already I have in the node 2, you know very well that I already have the did a git of pull of your clone of your Spring Pet Clinic project, which is already maintained within your GitHub account actually. So here I'm writing. So let us start writing. So I'll just say pipeline. Always you should make sure, guys, that whenever you are opening the bracket, it should always be with a close bracket, right? And if you come up here now, whenever you're writing a pipeline, you need to always refer to document. What is the first thing? Okay, I need to implement agent because agent is a mandatory. It is a required field. Okay, I need to do that actually. Good. So go back to the server here, and if you go to your documentation here, right, you see something the agent here. Click on this. It says that this is a required field. It means that you need to pass the agent as a required field. Without agent, you will not be able to proceed. So agent will tell you like what exactly you need to pass it. Like here, if you come down, so you have to say something like agent and any, right? Any is not, but it's a parameter what you're passing. So if you come over here, you'll get what are the parameters you can pass to the agent. These are the parameters. So the parameters are any, none, label like that, and node and Docker. And there are many other labels are there. But what we are depending upon, we are depending upon the label because that we know that the Spring Pet Clinic, it has to be executed in the node 2, where there is a label as a JDK 17 because you know that Spring Pet Clinic will always run under the Java 17 with the Maven 3.8 or 3.9. So I know that okay, I need to kickstart the job in under this label. So hence, guys, what you have to do that here when it comes to the label, right? You need to use this. You need to use the agent, and you need to pass the label and the label name you have to pass. Suppose that the node, this node 2 is having multiple labels assigned. Here in this case, in our case, we have only assigned the label as a JDK 17 only. Supposing that you have added one more label as a Maven 3.9 as a label. I think we have discussed all these things earlier also. But then in that case, what happened that you will be having two labels for the same node actually. You can have one label or you can have multiple labels also, no issues actually. So what the syntax says that actually agent open the bracket label label 1 and label 2. Here there is something as a conditional statements are there. So it means that if both the labels are matching, then only consider that as a label, or else you can use or also label, and the any one label should match so that this agent will suffice the need. So that's the reason, guys, what I have to do that I have to just go in here and I have to just come to the next line and I'll just say agent open the bracket, and what I need to do here, I have to use this label string. Yes, label, and then you have to say JDK 17 and open the bracket, close the bracket like this. You have to use correct. So after the agent is completed, what you need to do? You need to set an environment. Okay, environment. It means that suppose like for example you want to pass some credentials, or else you say that Rajesh, I have a Maven build. That Maven build, it is I have kept in some location that is 3.9 under OPT. So you can pass the credentials, you can pass your own predefined setting, everything under the environments. So if you go to the documentation, guys, and if you go up here, you go up here, can you see there's an environment? Click on this. See, it'll take you to the place where you can see it. You could see that you can the environment directory specifies the sequence of key value pair which will be defined as an environment variable for all the steps. Like for example, you can even pass the credentials also, Jenkins credentials, right? But here, this environment is not mandatory. That's what it said. Required is no. It is a kind of an optional. If you want to pass it, anything as per your requirement, we can pass it. Otherwise, you can leave it. If you come down, what are the different types of credentials it is passing? It is supporting. You have a sorry guys. You have a secret text you can pass. We could see that you can even pass the username and the passwords like that, right? Username and the passwords, and these are about the variables you are using for setting up the username and the passwords. If you come down, you will get some information here. Like see under the stage, inside that, or else even even here also what happened, right? You have an environment, and you are setting what is this environment variable. Like for example, you say that okay, uh, Rajesh, I want to compile the whole code into some compiler, right? Maybe that compiler you have set as some alias or something like that. You can use that as an alias here inside this environment. It means that you are actually calling that compiler path or the compiler. So that's what happened, right? You can pass any kind of a variables also here, or you can even pass any kind of a settings, or else you can even pass the username and the passwords, right? For example, if you come over here, see environment SSS credentials, you could see that you are actually passing some credentials. Like for example, you're passing the username and the password, whatever. So this is what you will be using it actually. In our case, actually, we don't have any such environment or something like, so I can skip this actually. So I'm not really interested in this environment variable as of now. We will see in future, we will see some examples where I need to mandatory plus some environment variables. There I will be calling this. Okay. Now come back to the go to the diagram here. After the environments, you have something the tools here. Okay. So go back here to the documentation, go up completely. Just to see here where are the tools. See, there are the tools are there. Click on this. See, it shows you that this is also not a very mandatory. That's what required. It says no. See, if you go to the agent, guys, I'm just telling you. If you go to the agent and click on it, see the required is yes, sir. It means that this is mandatory. It means that whenever you are declaring any pipeline, you need to pass this agent because this is a mandatory stuff. Required is yes. It means that it is always mandatory. Whereas any other things apart from this agent as well as the stages, right? Many of the things like for example environment or options or anything, right? For example, if you go for the tools actually, if you go to the tools, click on this. See the required field is no. It means that it is not mandatory. You need not to pass this tools whenever you are declaring it. It's left to you. You want it, you can pass it. Otherwise, you can leave it. You can skip it. So correct. So under this also what happened, right? The supported tools. It means that you have a specific Maven version. You have already installed everything in some path. So here you can say that okay, my build tool is always Maven, and this is the version like that. You can pass it actually. Like for example, here it says that see tools Maven, then say Apache 3.0.1 like that. You can specifically tell to your like your whole entire declarative pipeline that this is the tool which I'm using it. This way you might use somewhere else with below the stages, but this is what you already declared the top that this is the tool I'm using. Similarly, like for example, you are building a Terraform or you are building an Ansible actually. It means that sorry, you are writing a playbook file and you need to call the playbook from the through Ansible. You will be executing, right? So in some server or in the Jenkins only, what happened if you have installed that Ansible, here you can mention that oh you are using this Ansible and this is the Ansible version, so that the upcoming stages and within the stages you have a step some actually some stage there you can call that Ansible tool actually like that. So it is very handy here. So you'll always be using tools also a lot of time. And again in our scenario I am also skipping this also. I'm not really required because I'm not using any tool. Maven is already configured, right? Maven is already installed, so that is fine. I need not to set Maven as a tool here because it's already there in my system. So I'm skipping this all these things. What about this three options actually? Options means you can pass some options here. Like if you go to the documentation again, so guys, for you, some of you, it might look little boring. What is this? There are few stuffs are there, but this is how you have to learn it actually. If you come over here, you have an options. Click on the options. This is also mandatory. It is not mandatory required. That's what it said required equal to no. The optional directory allows the configuration pipeline specific options from within the pipeline itself. Like for example, what are the available options are there? Like for example, build discard. You want to discard the build, right? You want to disable the resume, or else if you come down here, can you see there's something like a retry? Okay, say that how many number of times your pipeline should be retried, right? One out. Suppose your pipeline has failed for one time, first time it has failed. If you are passing this retry, you could see that the options retry three. It's saying it means that you can actually retry for three times. So once the pipeline will get executed for three times, at the fourth time, what happened? The pipeline will fail and it will come out from the execution. It means that you are retrying for three times. Okay, fine. Skip default checkout. Okay, we don't know about all these things, but later we'll see it. There is something known as a timeout actually. Timeout something like suppose if your pipeline is taking more than 1 hour for execution, just to make exit out of that pipeline execution. So this is very important, guys. In real industry, also in our work, also what happened many of the times we will be setting a timeout actually because we don't know. Suppose due to some issue, the pipeline will be keep executed, it will never get executed at all. It might be waiting for some certain stuff, and it if it doesn't receive the data, right? What happened? The pipeline will be keep executed, it will be waiting for some event to happen, keep running, right? So it will unnecessarily hog your Jenkins CPU cycle and all. So you shouldn't do that actually because in the real time if there are some 10 jobs happen or 100 jobs happen, if they are infinitely if they are running without the completion, then what happened, right? It will make your Jenkins completely slow, or sometime it will make your Jenkins with stopping with responding, right? So hence what happened, right? You shouldn't do it because you might trigger a build tonight and go tomorrow morning, right? Or else you have triggered some 10 builds tonight and go home, right? Maybe all those 10 builds which have been running, right, they might slow down your Jenkins because it is the execution is not completed. There are some other teams are there where they want to make use of the Jenkins which you are running, because the Jenkins is so, it has become so slow and it is occupied with so many jobs execution which is infinitely executing without getting stopped or something. Then what happen, you cannot trigger any other job further jobs. So it will make your whole Jenkins into a kind of a halt state actually. Hence what happened, right? This is a very good within option. There's a good utility, something like timeout, right? So you can have a timeout and you can actually pass the timeout as 1 hour. So it means that within your job, if it is not executing within the 1 hour, timeout will try to kill your execution of your pipeline. Okay, good. So can I use this option now in my work or in my pipeline? Yeah, let us use it. What is it? Come over here. What is it, guys? Options. Open the bracket. So I'll do one thing. I'll try to blindly copy this whole stuff. I am not interested to, I mean, I'll just copy this whole stuff and paste it like this. That's all, right? After the options, what we have? Trigger, build trigger. You know that in the build trigger, you can even set a cron job. It means that, oh, every 1 hour my build should be run, right? Based on your trigger, right? You might have learned about all these things in the previous session where I have explained about the complete on build trigger in the freestyle project. But whereas if you are implementing the triggers into the pipeline, oh, you need to follow the documentation, man. Come over here, go to the here. You know that, okay, fine, Rajesh, I'll go up here. You have some of the triggers here. Okay, click on these triggers. Here you could see the trigger. This is also not optional. It is not mandatory. That's what it's a required zero. No. The trigger directive defines the automated way in which the pipeline should be re-triggered. For pipeline which are integrated with the source code such as Git or Bitbucket, trigger may not be necessary as a webhooks-based integration will likely be also already be present, right? You are having something as a cron here. You have something as a pole SCM, upstream, downstream, like that. Few of the stuffs are there. So let me do one thing. Let me use this cron job. Or else, you know that I also told about in the option. Sorry, I think I missed it. And the option we had used the timeout. Let me even use the retry also, guys. Come over here. So what is the syntax, guys? For the retry, it is same thing, right? Because you are writing one option, right? One option. So what you can do here? Come over here, and then like, yeah, What is it? Retry. 2 times I will retry. That's all. Yeah. 2 times I will. Yes. Okay. What I'll do, I will just arrange this so that looks good for you, right? Correct. And this is a closing bracket for this actually. Okay. Let me move little bit here like that. So you will understand. Good. So options you have enabled, right? Timeout and retry. Okay. After this, you have to do the triggers actually. So what I will do here, triggers. So if you go to the triggers, see I'm fully dependent upon document guys. I'm not at all seeing some other code reference. So triggers. Triggers what to do, you have to call triggers and you're calling a cron. You say that Rajesh, I want to build the same build every 1 hour. Okay, I don't think I'll use the triggers here. The spelling is correct. TRIGER is yes. Open the bracket. So what is it? Cron. Every hour. You know the trick how to build an every hour. So 0. Then it says star, 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 star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close the bracket like this. Good. So you build a trigger actually. It means that you implement a trigger. It means that every hour, 0 means 0th minute, star means every hour. Every hour, this build will be keep happening onto this label JDK17. Good. Now, after this, you have something the parameters. We have not yet discussed about the parameters. We have not discussed about the libraries. So as of now, we can skip these two things, two subs. We can skip those two subs. Hold a second, guys. So you can skip as of now. We will understanding about this parameter and all libraries later. So I'll be skipping. Next, what happened? You will come across with the stages. Within the stage, you have stages, you have stage, and within the stage, you have something as steps. So let us implement the stage now. Good. So here I'll just say stages in the bracket, and you know that for every in under the stage, you could have a lot of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 like that actually, right? Open the bracket, and this will be kind of a close bracket for this stage actually, right? Let me remove all the spaces also because yeah, correct. So now, so what is the stage? First stage, but you need to do a source code pull, right? So what happened is, so come over here. So under each stage, you have something stage, okay? Okay. So I'll implement the stage like this. So what is the stage? So something like source code, sorry, source code, right? Source code, that's all. Okay. Open the bracket. Again, you see in the diagram, you have a stage. Again, in the stage, you have something as a steps actually. So you have to just follow this entire document like this. Steps. Okay. Open the bracket, close this bracket, and close this uh, stage also like this. Okay. So under the steps, what you need to write some statement. So what is the statement you write? You have to say that you need to always do a git code pull, because you know that in the freestyle project we always do a git code pull, right? And now here, what you have to do that you say that okay, Rajesh, we have this we have this git URL. We have this git URL. So you need to call. So you have this. You need to call the git command to do a git code pull. Like what? How you do? You do a git clone, right? So it means that you depend upon the git. Already git is installed. If you go to the git or if you go to the your document, reference document, right? This reference document. If you go through it, this is not the pipeline step reference document. Can I search for here for the git actually? Let me do one thing. Let me go and search for the git actually. Okay, enter. Git. Okay, this is not required. Okay, this is not required. Okay, this is not Git actually. Come down. Okay, Git is there. Git bisect is there. Good. Git changelog is there. What else other things? Git foraging flag is there. Okay, come. This is what I need. See, Git plugin. This is what I need actually. Right? Just do a right click and open in a new tab. What it says that you have to use a Git. Okay, Git, and the syntax is nothing but he has given examples everything. And if you come down, what are the arguments you need to pass? The argument you need to pass in the part, you need to pass the URL and the string, and you need to pass the branch. There are many other things are there. Okay, like poll is there, credential ID is there, right? But you need to pass minimum these two argument, nothing but URL and the branch. Okay, I got it. So what you'll do, you'll go over here, and under the steps, you'll go here like this, and just to do something like git of URL colon. What is a git URL? Come over here, go to your GitHub, and copy this complete GitHub URL. Copy this and paste it here. See, like this. Clear, guys? And what else you need? You have something known as a branch. So you have to place comma. Branch is which one? Oh, I know that, sir. Branch is nothing but your main branch actually. Okay. So branch colon main branch. Sir, is it too difficult, sir, to understand? Guys, are you feeling difficulty in understanding? I'm purely depending upon the documentation. I'm writing a declarative pipeline. So tomorrow also you need to practice same way. You need not to refer to some other person code who has written pipeline and do it. It'll take time. This method will take a time. Guys, don't ping anything. I think you should able to. If you're having any doubt, you can tell it actually. Okay, if you ping me, right, I'll not be able to see the message actually. Okay, fine. You can unmute yourself and you can tell me. Okay. So now, so that's how. After that, what happened, right? So step is there. So this bracket is closing with this bracket, and this bracket is closing with this bracket. So always the bracket closing should always be proper. If there's any one miss of the bracket is there, right? Then what happened, right? There will be a syntax error actually. Is it clear? So what is the step after doing a code pull? What is the next thing you call? You call a build tool to build the code, right? Basically, you call a Maven build tool to build the code actually, right? So what you will do here? Okay, you'll go again. You'll go back to your. So this is okay. This is fine. Okay, this is fine. This I understood how to do the Git actually. Fine. Now what I will do here? I will go back here, and here I'll search for Maven. So is there any plugin is there for the Maven where I can call a Maven build to the build of the whole source code? Let me check. I'll just say Maven. So let me do a Maven. Okay, Maven. Set Maven deploys there. Okay. Maven invoker plugin. Not this is not really. This is saying something as a archive Maven invoker test. This is not that one. And here also repository server plugin. Something is there. Snapshot check-in plugin is there. Not this is not really which I'm looking for. Okay, fine. What are the other things? Oh, that's all. Nothing is there. Pipeline integration. Oh, this is also not that Maven which I'm looking for. Basically, you're not getting any plugin where you can call a Maven and you can pass it. So this is not available. Now, what is the next? So next is that actually you can call as a shell. You know very well that okay, I can you call a Maven a clean package like that. I can pass a command, right? So through a shell, we can pass it. So does the shell have here? Yeah, the shell is there here. So come over here, sh shell. This is not that one. This is not the one which I'm looking for. Label shell script. No, this is not that shell. Here you have something as sh. Oh, this is a shell script. Suppose you're writing anything in a Windows, you are having something as a PowerShell. This is what, sir, I need it. Okay, do a right click, open this. See, this is the shell script. Means that you can actually call any command line. So what you have to do that you have to say sh, and you need to call a script and the string. You need to call it means that something like you are doing a Maven build. Actually, you have to say mvn clean package or mvn package. Like that, you will be passing a command here as a string here. Apart from that, anything else or encoding string is there, which is optional. So this is one mandatory field which you have to call script to colon and specify the string, and all other are optional like this. So even you can pass the label also, under which label this command should get executed, whatever they're calling. Encoding also optional. You can pass some string encoding. Return return standard output, return status. There are many other are there, but these are all optional, guys, within your shell. So the only mandatory is this only. So let me do one thing. Let me go and let me write one stage here. Okay. So I'll come over here, guys. So I'll just say I will write one more stage. What is stage? Build the code. Sorry, I'm little slow today, but okay, that is fine. Build the code actually. Open the bracket. You can close the bracket, and you know that within each and every stage there is something known as a steps actually. Correct? Steps. So steps, and then open the bracket for the step and close with the bracket. And inside the step, you know that you need to write an instruction or you need to write a commands. So here, what you're doing, guys, you're calling a sh actually. Okay, sh colon. What is it? You're calling a script. Okay, script sh. Sorry, script colon string. What is a string? Okay, I'll just say Maven clean package. That's all. These are command you're calling, right? And this bracket is closed with this bracket, and this opening bracket should be closed with this bracket, actually, right? That's all. Simple. So, okay, this is fine. Now, what else apart from this you are doing? After doing everything, after doing a build activity, what you need to do? Basically, you need to do a reporting, or you need to even create an archiving, right? You need to create an archive. So, what you have to do that you have to do a archiving also. What we will do, guys? We'll go here, and then we will write one more stage here. Stage here. Okay, reporting and archiving, something. Reporting and archiving. Open the bracket. This should close with this bracket. Then you know that under each stage there is something. The steps is there. Steps. Open the bracket. Close this step actually, and then within that. So now, how you will generate the archive? You can generate the archive with the help of a JUnit. So JUnit plugin is already installed. So I already showed you at the time. So go over here, search for JUnit. Enter. So go back, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. Oh, this is what I need. Sorry, this is what the archiving unit format I need. Open this. And in this, in the JUnit, you need to pass the test results. JUnit test, and you need to pass the string. Okay, this is what I need. Other things I don't really need it. These are all optionals. I don't need it. I can use it based on my requirement, but as of now, I don't need it. I need to just follow it. So what you will do, guys, come over here and just say JUnit. Okay, and what is it? You have to just copy this test results like this. Test results colon. You know that where all the test results will be there. You know that under the target there is something as a surefire hyphen reports. This you have seen it already earlier. Under that you have a lot of XML files star.xml. Correct, guys? And like this. Close this bracket with this bracket and close this bracket with this bracket. Good. That means that you are closing it properly. Right? Something like this. Till here, are you okay? I'm just trying to write a declarative pipeline for building your Spring Pet Cleaning project. Okay. After that, what you need to do, guys? After that, you need to write a post build actions. Right? Okay, it's all done. After that, what I have to do? Post build action. You can even send an email also, like, yeah, your build is successfully completed, right? Or if the build fails, it says that your build has failed due to so and so reason, like that you can send an email also, right? So for that, what you will do that, guys? So this is what the closing bracket, and you could see that always the post build action will always the post build action, it will get come after the stages will get completed, you will write the post build action. So what I do that? So what I have to do, guys? See this stage, opening bracket, it is closing here. So after this only you need to implement the post build actions. Okay, good. So I'll come over here and I will do a enter. I will do a post build action. Post. How we get the post here? Again, the same stuff. Go to the documentation here. Go to the pipeline here. Search for the post action, post build action. Go up here. Can you see something in the post here? Yes. Click on this post. See, it says that it is also not mandatory. That's what it's a required equal to know. So here you can specify the conditions. So the conditions are always changed, fixed, regression, aborted, failures, success, stable, unstable, unsuccessful, like that. Clean up. So here you could see that here you have a post and you're saying always. It means that this always this thing will get executed, irrespective of whether this is passed or failed, it will get executed. Now you say that Rajesh, when all my steps are getting all my stages are getting executed successfully, everything has successfully executed, it means that the whole pipeline is executed successfully, then under the post build action I need to always call the success. So under this success, inside success, and under the success I can dispatch an email, so I can use some kind of a mail command to send an email, like that. Okay, fine, good. So what you do that, you come over here and under the post build actions, right, actually. So what you will do here, guys, you will open the bracket and here you will close the bracket for this post. So under the post, actually what you will do that, you will be calling a I'll be just copying the success, right? Success. And what else you have? Success. Okay, let me do one thing, little bit push up inside, and then again you are having open bracket of success, right? If you see the syntax, you'll understand. Open bracket and the close bracket. Okay, close the bracket. So under this, you need to write something. So basically, there is a command, internal command, the echo command. So you can just do a sending of any email. So send the success email actually. So I'm not doing right now. As of now, I'll be doing in my next example how to send an email post actions, right? So here, what happened that I'll just say echo something known as a success actually. Okay, guys, success actually. And after that, what happened, right? If it is a failure, if it is a failure, so here you could see that you are having, apart from the success, you are having a failure also, or you can even say unsuccessful also, no problem. So I'll just make this unsuccessful. So let me copy this, come over here, paste it, this unsuccessful, open the bracket, close this bracket, inside that, what will just say that send the unsuccess email, and I'm just using some echo command to send the mail message as a failure. If it is a failure, if the any one of the step is failed, in the post build action this will get executed. If all the builds, all the stages are passed, then it will say that it is a equals success action. Clear, guys? So now what I will do that? Okay, fine. Let me see the bracket. So this is okay. This is fine. So this is closing with this bracket, correct? Correct. So this is closed with this bracket. This post, okay, this post is for this. Okay, let me know one thing. Let me push this again here to somewhere inside. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, and this is for your closing of your entire pipeline. See this, what are the pipeline you have opened right here? So this pipeline which is opening the flower bracket, right? Where it is closing? It is closing here at the down. So this is closing. How to verify? Highlight here and if you press shift percentage, see, it will go here. See, shift percentage, like that. Suppose if you're saying that, Rajesh, for this, where is the closing bracket? Actually, this is a closing bracket. We know that. But if you want to really verify, suppose this is the open bracket. If I do a shift percentage, see, it will toggle between the. See, you can make out the where it is closing, like that. So this is a simple way for understanding that where the open bracket, where the bracket is opening and where it is closing. So you should know, guys. Okay. So till here, you have any doubts? This is a simple one, guys. So we've written a declarative pipeline for our Spring Pet Clinic. Correct? Save this file. Okay, now you have a file by name Jenkins file. Okay, okay, this is good. That now I need to push this code. So what I will do, I'll first do a git add dot. So whatever the changes are there, right? And I will say that git commit -m added Jenkins file, something like that, and specify the file name Jenkins file. Right, you have committed it. If you do a git status, see, it's either nothing to commit. It's everything is done actually. Now we will do a git commit, sorry, git push origin. What is it? Not master, it's main, right? Because here in your this is your nothing but it's a main actually. Okay, good. It's a main. Git push origin main. It means that you need to push into the GitHub, right? Enter. So it is asking for the username. So the username for my GitHub account is a tech leads actually. If you click on here, these are tech leads 23. So I'll give tech leads 23. This is a username. Password is that token actually. I already have this token. Last time also I showed you. This is a token actually. So copy this token and paste it. See, you're doing a git. You did a push of that. It means that you pushed this Jenkins file. So this Jenkins file has been pushed. Come over here, and if you do a refresh of this, can you see here this Jenkins file? See, it has been pushed just 1 minute ago. It has been pushed. Click on here. Now you could say this is what the pipeline which you have written. Correct. So let's see if I did any mistake here. Okay, with some kind of a quotes or something like that. Okay, trigger, stages, steps. Okay, branch colon main. Yeah, URL, git URL. Okay, comma branch, stage build code steps. Steps is there. Maven. Reporting and archive steps. JUnit test. Okay, open this bracket. Blah. Success unsuccessful. Yeah, it seems to be perfect. Okay, let's see. Okay. So now what happened that I will write a, what I will do now, I'm going to write a job now. So what a job I need to write? I need to write a declarative pipeline job. So what I'll do, I'll go to the new item. So I'll just say Spring Pet Clinic declarative or declarative pipeline projects. Or you can just say declarative pipeline. Okay. Sorry, declarative pipeline for Spring Pet Clinic SPC. So I need to select this pipeline here. Click on this pipeline and then come down. Is there anything? Nothing is there. Just say OK. Okay. So here this project is to show the demo for declarative pipeline to build Spring Pet Clinic. That's all. Discussion, right? Any other thing you need to do? Nothing. I did not to do any other things, right? I will directly come here and you could see that actually, you know that you're having a pipeline. So you'll go with the pipeline from SCM. Click on this. Here you could see that you'll be selecting Git. Okay. What is the path of the Git URL? So you know that, okay, this is a URL. So come over here into the GitHub account, copy this URL, go over there and paste it. Any credential is required? None. What is a branch? The branch is what? You know that branch is a main branch. So you need to give that main branch. Instead of it's not master, it's a main branch. Okay, good. Anything? What else? Other things you have? Okay, Jenkins is a file. Any other things? Nothing is there. Okay, apply and save it. So now let's see whether it will run or not. Okay, just go with build now. Okay, just click on this. Hopefully it should build. Let's see. Okay, good. Oh, it is doing archiving. See, okay, it's failed actually. Why it is failing actually? Hold a second. Uh, Reporting escape due to the earlier failure. Okay, why it is earlier? It is failed actually. Git version 2.1 fetch split. Oh, okay, MVN package not found. Okay, okay. So what happened, guys? Because like here, in the node 2, right? In the node 2, even though it is having an MVN FNFN version you're having, you already set it 3.9. Somehow it is not picking that value. If you execute the echo dollar, I'm if you remember under etc profile.d, like you remember that you had set this maven.sh. You have exported M2 path and all everything. It's all the things are there here, but still somehow it is not picking it actually. So what I know the trick that okay, Rajesh, give the complete path slash home Apache Maven 2. Under that you have bin. So you give this complete path like this actually. Along with that, you won't give a MBN also. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll come over here into my Jenkins job. So I'll go to your Spring Pet Clinic. So I know that I'll need to go to the Jenkins file. Okay, here what happened, right? Give the complete path like this. Okay, fine. Because it is not able to find that MBN command. Hence, what happened, right? Okay, fine, good. Now you'll save this. Save this. Okay, again do a git add dot git commit npm. Okay, provided maven or mvn complete path. Something you are just passing a message, right? And specify the file name and do a git push origin main. So tech leads 23. That is username. Password is something like that key, whatever the key is there, right? This is a password. Copy it and go paste it. So you push the code. Come over here and come to your GitHub and just refresh it one more time. Now you see that if you go to the Jenkins file, you could see that whatever the changes you have edited, right? See, this is available now. Okay, fine. Okay, now let me rerun that project again. Go back to your job. See, first time it has failed, fine. Next time we will try to build one more time now. See, it is showing in the pipeline view, right? See, for example, it's showing the pipeline view, what things are happening in each and every stage. See, now it is what happened, right? It is in progress. It is showing each and every stage. If you click on here, and you could see that it is doing a build. See, it is doing a code pull. See, it is doing a MVN clip. See, now it is actually generating the test file. See, it is executing now. Okay, good. Okay, test results are done. See, the pipeline has been successfully executed. So go back here. You could see that the build has been completed successfully, and it is shown that actually for each and every stage how much time it has took actually, right? And if you go back to your build, this is a build actually. Go back to build. You could see that there's a test results are there. No failures. Click on this. These are your test results actually. That's what you said. Whatever that archiving, red test archiving is said, this is what the archiving it showed. Is it clear, guys? Still here? So here you know that in the pipeline you need to install a lot of plugins, because now what happened, right? You have moved one step forward. So in the Jenkins freestyle project, if you're not having plugin also, no problem, because you are calling a command line. and you're doing it. But here you're completely dependent upon the UI, because that after installing the plugins only, you'll be able to use those reference document or the function documents. Sorry, Jenkins reference document. So the Jenkins reference document, you're able to get the required plugin information, and then what are the things which you need to pass while calling it. That and all you need to achieve once whenever the plugin is getting installed. Clear, guys? Okay, now what is the next thing? Okay, let's see how much time it took for us. Okay, nearly it took around 1 hour 15 minutes. So what I was planning, I was just planning to take few more things, but I will stop it now, because it will the class will extend more. Now today evening, so let us rejoin again, guys. Today evening, let us rejoin again at 7 p.m. All are okay with this 7 p.m. time? So what we are going to do at today's session, that is a day 13 session, we will be continuing from here itself. We'll be understanding about uh, what are nothing but the parameter, how you need to pass the parameters now. Okay, what are the parameters, how to set up parameters and all, and what are nothing but the upstream and downstream projects and streams projects. And then like we'll be understanding about how to install, configure the SonarQube. So SonarQube basically it's a tool, it's an open source tool which is used for doing a code quality checking. So SonarQube is used for code quality checking. Okay, guys. So this is what we'll be learning today at the evening time. So maybe I might take 2 hours of session, because this is a very big topic. So it will minimum take 2 hours. So just be prepared for 2 hours. Sit from 7 to 9. We'll be able to complete this. If not the complete, if I'm not able to complete the SonarQube completely today, it will go. It will continue for the next week. Okay. In the next week, what we'll be doing, we'll be conferring the. We'll be learning about how to. This is for next week actually. Next week agenda. So we'll be learning about the artifactory. So what is artifactory means? You have something as a remote artifactory. You can create a remote artifactory, like for example, you have a JFrog, as well as you can even have a Nexus artifactory. So these two topics we will be covering in next weekend actually. So it needs a lot of time. So these two topics you can make sure that it will take around 2 to 3 classes, or minimum 2 classes it will take you to complete everything. Right? So once this is completed, we will continue our furthermore we'll continue our journey in Jenkins actually, because there are many other topics are there, small topics which I need to cover actually, right? As well as I had promised that I'll be starting a series on the DevOps projects actually, because we need to integrate all these tools. Right now we have learned many of the tools in our DevOps, right? So we need to integrate everything and show as a kind of a project. So during after the completion of this Nexus, right? So I'll be covering that also. Like I'll be creating a separate playlist, right? Even though it's a continue of the Jenkins itself, but still I would like to make it as a separate playlist actually, so that people can go and learn about the project itself, right? So there I'll be covering 2 to 3 projects, or uh, maybe more than that also, 4 to 5 projects I might cover over there. So that will also be very interesting actually, guys. So after that, again, like we will see how to do that, and we'll also try to discuss about what are the interview question answers to be asked, in the Jenkins, and or what are the important questions are there, right? So those things, and also we'll be having one discussion, as well as a very important question which they usually ask in interview, like how you take a backup of all the data. Suppose your Jenkins server is crashed, right? So before the crash, or suppose you want to rebuild the same Jenkins servers, right? So how you do that? So you have to do a regular backup of the Jenkins home directory. You have to take it. How to take that regular? How do you do it? Do you do anything with a plugin like that? Is there some kind of a plugin where you can do a periodic, backup the data? You can take it, or else will you be writing any scripts for doing that? So like that, plenty of question comes. You should be able to answer those things. Okay, guys. So let me stop it here today, and we will continue tonight again at 7 p.m. Is it okay, guys? Parameters upstream and downstream, like that we'll start, and we'll also learn about SonarQube installation and configuration. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So chalo, we'll stop it today, and if you don't have any doubts, so let us wind up for today's session. Okay. Thank you all. Bye bye.